Okay, good. Obviously, yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, both practice days for us. We have a different format this year, where Sunday's a player day off, and we practice Monday and Tuesday. So, really focused on Maryland. Very good football team, very large. You know, a big ACC team, real big up front. They've had a couple injuries, but doesn't seem to slow them down. I mean, they're physical. They run the football really well. Very dangerous outside of wide receiver. A couple guys that just ran right by West Virginia and made some big plays, and actually had a couple that ruled incomplete that could have made it a much different game as well. And on defense, they just have multiple looks. They come from all over the place. High pressure team, high percentage pressure team, I should say. All ACC linebacker who I think has accounted for over 100 tackles for 2 seasons straight. Very physical in the secondary as well. Come up and will make tackles. Multiple in their looks. They disguise coverage as well. A very, very good football team.
Coach, teams like Navy ran for 400 yards on Maryland, West Virginia did 200 yards rushing. What can you expect out of Jeremiah Harden and the whole rest of the running game today?
I think any time that Navy plays someone, it has to be looked at in a different light. Navy's a very different scheme, you know, very much like Georgia Tech, a very impressive scheme, but that's what they do. West Virginia did have some success, but they also had plenty of tackles for losses as well, plenty of runs for losses, I should say. We always look upon ourselves, or look at ourselves as, as ourselves, as what we can do to get better. I think Jeremiah Harden, it did improve from week 1 to week 2. Needs to hang on the ball better, and he has done a great job in practice. Mallory has improved. Kedrick Rose got in the game, had a couple carries, and looked like he could contribute for us this year as well. And Derek Perry continues to be a solid player for us. So, right now we're about a 50-50 run-pass team. And we'd like to stay along those lines as much as possible and keep improving our running.
How important is it for you guys, you seem able to move the ball pretty well, but to punch it in, when you get inside 35-40, it seems to stall. Where do you need to take that next step?
At red zone offense, obviously critical. Critical that you get 7 points as much as possible, but at the very least, make sure you come out of there with points. Okay, if you can get some points anytime you're in the red zone, you're always going to make steady progress towards your ultimate goal, and that's a victory. So it was a big point of emphasis in camp, and certainly I've stressed it even more over the past couple of weeks with some of the things that gave us a couple of issues, and we do expect to improve in that area.
I know, especially when you get inside the 10, power running really is a way to oftentimes get it done because it's so so constricted.
It's pretty congested in there. Yeah, the field is now wider than it is long, so it is a different type of game plan when you get to that part of the field, and you have to make sure you use your athletes and their capabilities, their skill sets the best way you can. Make sure that they're touching the ball, that you're blocking the right guys, or you're in formations that can provide those types of advantages. We've scouted Maryland heavily to try to achieve that.
Do you think, the first 2 weeks of the season, obviously you prefer to get a win, but the way you played against these teams has changed national perception about this program at all?
Well, I think what sticks out in our mind is, of course, you always want to get the victory. That's at the forefront. But what we all see in our football team is a team that is legitimately getting closer to becoming a very solid, much improved, and a legitimate Division I football team. So there's plenty of things that we've taken from these last 2 games that are very positive, and the things that aren't positive are things that we feel are very correctable. With repetition, with experience, with game planning, with effort. There's some things there that we feel that we can get ourselves better at, and thus make us a better football team.
Coach, if you had to pick one thing you would like to see this Saturday from Wesley Carroll against Maryland, what would that be?
Well, Wesley's been much more efficient and much more careful with the football this past game, and I think he's really taken on the role of a strong team leader. What I would like to see us do, and it ties into us, it ties into all of us as a football team, is for us to finish. It's always been a big theme since day one, since the moment we get in that weight room in January, every offseason, is to finish. That's a very strong word, and that word carries a lot of weight with it. So with all of us as a football team, as a program, we want to see us start strong, sustain, and then finish.
We talked about it over the weekend, but just the pressure you guys have gotten on the quarterback. Are you even a little surprised with as many times as you've gotten hits on them? I mean, it was outstanding in the first half, at least.
At times, when I say surprised, you like to see the way some of the guys have developed. Maybe a little faster than you thought they would. But the energy and enthusiasm which we're playing with, we've been pleased with, and at the same time, we're demanding a little bit more. should say we're demanding a lot, but we know we can get even more out of our defense. And that even though they're playing at a high level, there are certain things and wrinkles that Coach Collins is going to continue to add to our defensive scheme to make us better and use our skill sets better.
I know it's an obvious answer, but what happens to an offense when the quarterback gets hit all the time? What's the advantage of getting that pressure on?
You know, I'd say that it's the equivalent of a 15-round heavyweight fight, where those body blows that don't look, aren't as flashy. When you watch the replays in between rounds, they take their toll, and come the latter part of the football game, you see quarterbacks across the country when they do get hit a lot, they don't step into their throws, or they start to run off their back foot, or they're quicker to get rid of the football, and don't see the field as well. You know, all things caused by 2 hours and 45 minutes of getting hit. So of the essence for us, as it is for Maryland, I know as well, to always protect that quarterback, and not just from sacks, but also from quarterback hits.
And Jared Johnson, I think, said after the game that he almost felt like he was in a bit of a fog to start that second half. Do you think it was because of the pressure?
A little bit, yeah, I think so. I think we did a lot of things well in that football game to cause him some problems. I think he's a real good football player, and he made some adjustments as well. But I think the things that we did in that football game to help us against him, and some of the things they did offensively, I think it's some of the things we can carry over towards the rest of the season and improve upon.
What have you seen the last couple of days in practice that would say the team is handling this situation? I mean, tough losses begin to wear on. What have you seen anything particular to say they're doing all right?
You know, you go one of two ways in losses. You know, you got your head down, or you're hungry to go get that next one because you feel like you're close. And that's what our football team has been. You know, without a shred of a doubt, our football team's appetite to continue to get better, you know, and take that step in the second half, in the fourth quarter, finish football game, is increasing. And it's evident with, again, the energy in practice. You know, you're going to play like you practice. If you're practicing hard, you know, if you're practicing efficiently, you're going to play that way on Saturday. So we're very pleased with the first couple of days of practice this week.
Is it tougher to do when you went on the road? You're hitting like 3 tough road games in a row.
You know, it's kind of funny. Not really, because, you know, you start meetings at 9:30, whatever it may be, and there's some bus travel and there's some plane travel, but you're fed on all these things. So you're getting food, you know, you're getting Gatorade, you're getting water. Those that have traveled with us know, I mean, you're inundated with nutrition and vitamins and minerals. So, you know, those last 24 hours are really, really critical in 2 ways. You know, to create that reserve in your body, you know, fill up the tank with all those things necessary to play through an entire football game, and also to cut out those distractions. And we travel professionally. We actually dress in coat and tie as a football team, and travel and treat it exactly as a business trip. And everything is on point and on time. It's right to dinner, it's right to meetings, it's right to walkthrough, so it's pretty efficient.
Anyone else, guys?
Just one general question. I know it's still early, but the way that Sun Belt teams have played so far, what are your thoughts?
You know, all I get to look at is the scores right now. I really don't even focus on any other game except the upcoming opponent. But judging from the scorecards out there, Sun Belt teams are battling and playing well and being very, very competitive. And honestly, it's something that we do expect, because the Sun Belt has got some real good football teams, some real good coaching, and they're real good recruiting areas. The Sun Belt's going to continually get better and better and better, and hopefully this will be a great week for the Sun Belt Conference.